Hello everyone, welcome back to Himabindu Angal Kurti's channel. Just like every Saturday, I'm here again to show you a few air dry clay projects, and I simply had a lot of fun when I'm working on these projects. So let's get started to see how I made it. I got this Das air dry clay from Amazon and I will link it down below for you. I got this a while ago and I'm simply amazed at how it retained the moisture inside it. I took some clay onto this wrap and I slowly started kneading it so that there will not be any air bubbles. I made some round balls out of this clay and I try to give as much smoothness as I can. I made 8 of these and I took one of them and slowly, carefully just rolled it with this rolling stick. I'm working on the old furniture. I tried using the wrapping paper but that didn't go well and I got all dents in the middle, so I'm using this old table. Now that I finished making a nice circle out of the balls, I slowly cleaned up the edges so that it will be nice and smooth. You can use any of the circular shape, like it could be a glass or a cup or a bowl, to cut the shape that you want. Because I wanted to keep the exact same shape, I'm not cutting it, but instead I'm using this brush to smoothen if there are any hard or rough surfaces with a little bit of water. Working with the rough surfaces, I took these small flowers that I have already and I am trying to give it a little bit of these flower impressions. For that, I'm using this rolling stick again and I gently pressed it into the clay. We need to give just the right amount of pressure. If you give too much pressure, that will leave holes. If you give very less pressure, that will not give you any impression. After that, I'm gently removing it so that I can let it dry. I really love the impression that I got from these flowers. That is super awesome. Then I picked up some wildflowers from outside and I gently did the same steps for these flowers as well. And you have to make sure that some of these will not give you exactly the shape that you want, but you'll have to keep trying until you get the desired shape. Now add some holes to these clay pieces so it'll be easy for you to tie them up when they're dried out. And this time I'm using a napkin roll and I'm making circular and semicircular shapes out of it. Then I repeated the same process so it will be nice and smooth on the edges. As a third clay project, I wanted to do a big flower this time with free-handed. I did not have the correct tools to make it, so it was okay when I did this flower, but I could have done better with the better tools, is what I thought. One good thing out of this clay is that nothing goes waste with this clay. You can reuse the leftover clay as many times as you want, or at least that's what I did for this project. After making this wildflower shape, I am cutting this with the tool that I have carefully so that I don't cut any of the necessary parts. And later on, I am cleaning out all the rough edges like I did for my previous work. Just a small stem with the leftover clay that I have by adding it underneath the flower. I then added a small leaf to the stem and made sure that it is well sticked to the stem. After that, I gave it a little bit of texture by drawing some lines on the flower and also on the stem and the leaves. I'm using the same exact steps, but this time I'm using a different material to give the impression, and I simply like it. I then added some holes to these small clay pieces. After that, I let all these clay pieces dry overnight, and then I started painting for these clay pieces. For the project one, I wanted to add this gold color that I got from Target Bullseye section. I'm adding the gold color for all these pieces, and this is so beautiful after I finished painting it all gold. These wildflower impressions are showing just the way that I wanted, and it's perfect when I add the gold color to it. For the second project, I'm taking this lilac mist that I got from Walmart a while ago, and I'm adding it for the second project. This time I wanted to add gold on top of the flower impressions, so I'm taking this pointy brush and I am carefully painting it on the top of the flower and also to the side of the circular shape of the screen. The paints that I'm using for these projects are super easy to work with. These are the acrylic paints and water washable too. For this flower, I'm using gold on the borders and also green color for the stem, as well as orange and red for the flower. This flower stem kind of didn't stick for some reason. Maybe I did not push it hard enough. So I tried to use some glue on this stem to attach this flower, but since it's a little cold, it didn't stick that much. I should have probably used a little bit of clay instead of this, which I did not think about, but yeah, I did now. After these projects are all dried out and painted, I added a little bit of cotton string to it and also added a few tassels, which made a beautiful macrame. The second macrame, I collected this stick from outside and I added these 4 pieces along with a few tassels down at the bottom, and this definitely is a beautiful accent piece. I love to play with this air dry clay, and it is so much easy to work with, and I simply love to make more with these. And also your kids will love a lot to play with this. I know Yashika does. Comment down below which one is your favorite. I hope you enjoyed all these 3 clay projects. I will see you next Saturday. Until then, stay tuned. Bye.